Hello everyone, I'm Danushka. So today we are going to start a new tutorial series which is third person shooter game. Okay, so as the name intended, this tutorial series will be focused on how to create a full functional third person shooter game. Start from the scratch. Like you can see, I have opened the sample project and it has nothing. So from the very beginner steps onwards, we are going to create a TPS game, and I hope to scale it further, like integrating meta humans and all at the later part. But for the initial stages, we'll start with Unreal Engine standard mannequin and some sample assets that we can include. um, so like we'll start some prototypes first, and then when we have some sort of a functional game, we'll integrate the actual measures like meta human or even paragon assets or whatever custom mesh type you want to this project. Okay, right. So first, to get started, you should create a project like this. So I hope you know how to create Unreal Engine project, but in case if you don't know, first you should have Epic Launcher, and there go to the libraries, and there actually you can choose whatever engine type you want. So currently I'm using Unreal Engine 5.3, so you can launch it like this. Okay, so once you launched your project, basically you can choose blank project because we are going to start from scratch, and then you can give it a proper name. So in my case, I simply name it as TPS game. So it don't allow me to create a new project with this name because currently I have created this project at this specific directory. But in your scenario, you may able to create it one. Or if you would like to have a different name, go for it. It's just a name. Okay. All right. So I'll cancel this thing. So this is my project. So you can see there is nothing there yet. But in order to get started with, actually I have created some start content project called TPS Essential. So I'll show that project to you. So this TPS game Essentials basically carried out all the necessary assets that we want to prototype the basic features of our third person shooter game. So the one of the main reasons to create this TPS game Essentials project is to have a central repository and some sort of a starter kit for the developers who's going to follow up this tutorial series, right? So as you can see, it basically contains the characters like default mannequins and all. Also it contains the animations that we required when we are going through this tutorial series. So basically it has some Lyra assets, some Paragon assets, as well as some vehicle driven animation assets as well, because later on actually we are going to implement some vehicle system to here as well, and some audios that we required when we are creating this game also included, and some materials like some placeholder materials, and yeah, vehicle measures like this. So basically these are default chaos vehicle provided by Unreal Engine, so we are going to start using those stuff at the later part, and some weapons such as this rifle, right? So if you know these assets, maybe you have seen Lyra starter game pack, so we are going to use those assets as the initial stages to prototype our game. Okay. So yeah, so that's the very brief intro about this TPS game Essentials asset pack. And then basically once you created your TPS game project here, you should migrate that asset pack to your game, right? So I'll go to my TPS game essential asset pack and simply right click, migrate everything to your TPS game. So here, this is my TPS game project. So make sure you go to the content folder and select that folder, and it will start migrating. Okay. It will take some time. Okay. So I think the migration is successful now. So if you go to the content folder, now we have our TPS game essential initial asset pack in our project. So I'll provide a link to download this TPS game essentials so you can easily migrate it to your own project as well. Okay, and then we need to enable some plugins to use this asset pack. So let's see what are those. So if you go to this asset guideline folder, I have added this asset guideline class called TPS game. So simply double click and open it up. So it will show you, okay, there are some missing plugins that you need to enable in your project, right? So simply click enable missing. So it will automatically apply those plugins for you. And it will ask for restart. Obviously, when you add a new plugin to your project, you need to restart your base project in order to work with those plugins. Okay. So if I quickly show you what are these plugins, basically we have chaos vehicle plugin and animation warping plugin. So we need this chaos vehicle plugin for our chaos vehicle, and we need this animation warping features when we are implementing our locomotion behaviors. Okay. So make sure to enable those plugins. So you can either do it in here by simply go to this asset guideline, or you can go to the edit and plugins, and there you can simply search for those vehicle related plugins and animation warp related plugins. Okay, right? Okay, and then let's restart our project. Okay, and let's go to plugins and see whether those plugins are enabled. Okay, vehicle plugin is there, and animation warping is there. Great. Okay, so that's how we migrate the asset to our folder. And next, let's set up the default folder structure that we need to start working on our game. So first, let's go to the content folder and create a new folder called TPS game. So make sure TPS game essentials folder is inside the content as well, because in late episode I may have to include new assets to this TPS game essentials project. So I can simply add those to my base project and give it your link. So you guys also can download it and simply migrate it again to upgrade this specific asset pack, right? So that's the main reason to include this essentials asset pack inside this content folder, right? Okay, and we have another root folder called TPS game. There actually we will start again on our actual game. Okay, so I'll open up my reference project as well, so I can easily go through it. Okay, so the first folder that I'm going to create is maps, and inside this map folder, let's create another folder called showcase map, and then let's create a new label. new level, which is a basic level. Okay, and I'll save this new level inside this showcase map folder and rename it as showcase map. Okay, and then whenever you open your project, you need to start with this showcase map at your editor. So in order to do that, let's go to the project setting. So by default, actually my project setting has been open, but in case if you want, you can simply go to the edits and project settings, and there let's go to the maps and modes and simply select that showcase map. Okay, so you can do that in a shortcut way that I did. You can simply click on this level and directly go to the project setting and click this arrow icon, so it will automatically will be applied to here. Otherwise you can do it manually as well. You can simply search your map level name and it will pop up here. Okay, right, so that's the maps folder. And let's create another folder for our blueprints, and inside that folder let's create another folder called game base, and in this folder we can add our root blueprint files. So obviously we need a game mode to handle all our game specific rules. So I'll add it like this, and I'll rename it as ep underscore TPS game GM. So I'll follow this standard naming convention. Basically BP stand for blueprints, and TPS game stand for third person shooter game, and GM stand for game mode. Okay, and I'll open it out as well. Great. Now there are some assignable classes at our game mode base. So for now, actually we need a HUD class to control our UI related features, and we need a player controller class to control the player specific logics, right? And later on, when we are implementing some save game features, we may need to use this game state class as well, but currently we don't need it. Therefore, let's create a player controller class and HUD class for now. Okay, so simply you can go to the blueprint class again, and there is another option called player controller. Select it and rename it as TPS game PC. So again, PC stand for player control, and I can assign it to here. Okay, compile and save, and I'll create another blueprint class for HUD. So as you can see, for HUD or heads up display, there is no default feature at this command category, but if you can go to this all classes and search for HUD, now you can see there is a specific class for that. So I'll use this one, which is HUD, and rename it as TPS game HUD. Okay, and let's assign it to here as well. Okay, now we have player controller and HUD inside our game mode, and I'll save everything, and let's go to the project settings again, and here you can see we can select the default game mode, right? So in my scenario I will select this game mode. So what basically happened is that now we have a standard schema for our project to where to start our game and what are the default configurations for a specific level, things like that, right? Okay, And yeah, I think that's all for now. So if I recap, basically, initially we migrated this TPS game essential project folder to our TPS game project, and we created this TPS game root directory inside content, and we created a sample level called showcase map, and we created some game based blueprints such as game mode, HUD, and player controller inside our blueprints folder. Okay, so I think that's the initial setup related features and configurations for our project. And in the next tutorial, we'll see some more other stuff. Okay, thank you, and see you there.